Hello everyone, welcome to Lucid Means program brought to you by Ekam IAS. Our today's topic is Supreme Court verdict on Sabarimala regarding women entry. So this topic is important for our GS paper 1 because there is a lot of societal aspect to it. And in our syllabus prescribed by UPSC, there is a point like the role of women. So let's get into the topic. Before seeing it in mains perspective, remember, as it's a burning issue, make sure that you go through the geographical features of this pilgrimage, the location and so that it could help you with your prelims preparation as well. And for those who are preparing for your interview, that is for your next level of preparation, it's an important topic. And what I meant to say is like, this topic is equally important for all of you, no matter at which level of preparation you are. So let's see it in detail. Before getting into the issue and the verdict, we will see some factual information regarding Sabarimala temple that is situated in Kerala. In fact, it is a Hindu pilgrimage center located in the Western Ghat mountain ranges of Pathanamthitta district in Kerala. And it is believed to be a place where the Hindu god Ayyappa is meditating after killing a powerful demon. Actually, this temple is at a hilltop that is at a high altitude above sea level and surrounded by mountains and dense forest. The devotees are expected to follow a 41 days fasting before going to Sabarimala, and it begins with the wearing of a garland that is made of Rudraksha. And a key feature was that the women between the age of 10 and 50 were not allowed to enter the temple. Actually, it's this practice of preventing women quoting the celibacy form of the laity has been challenged in the court. It was on October 13, 2017 that the Supreme Court referred the Sabarimala case to Constitution Bench. The issue and the verdicts were like this. Actually, the PIL, that is a public interest litigation, was filed by a non-profit body of Indian Lawyers Association by seeking the entry of all women and girls to the Sabarimala temple. As a result, a constitutional bench was formed, and as I said before, they considered the matters regarding the following, that is like whether the restrictions on women based on biological factors should be continued or not, how to deal with the violation of articles like 14, 15, 17, that is 14 which is right to equality, 15 prohibition of discrimination and 17 that is untouchability. So all these articles are important in our examination point of view. Then another one is like regarding the arguments related to article 25, that is the freedom to practice and propagation of religion, and article 26, that is the freedom to manage religious affairs. So by considering all these matters, recently the Supreme Court verdict was given, putting an end to the centuries-old tradition. That is, the Supreme Court ruled that irrespective of their age, women can enter to Sabarimala temple. In the 5-member panel, the only women representative, that is Justice Indu Malhotra, dissented the verdict, and the rest of the judges responded to lift the ban. And as we have witnessed, it became a controversy. There were different reactions, and let's have a quick look into few of them. The Indian Young Lawyer Association argued that the bar on entry of women in Sabarimala temple is neither a ritual nor a ceremony associated with the Hindu religion. So they welcomed the verdict, and activists hailed judgment called it another step that would bring in equality, and they said women have a constitutional right to be able to visit the temple and whoever wishes must be allowed to visit it. And the state government, that is of Kerala, it was a result of the legal fight that has been going on for a long years, and they also welcomed the verdict. Also, Travancore Devasam Board, which is a socio-religious trust that comprises of members nominated by both the government and the community, also welcomed the verdict and later stated that no review petition will be filed. But Tharaman priest family, Pantalam royal family, those who were dealing with the rituals of Sabarimala temple have shown their disappointment along with the Yogakshema Sabha, Naya Service Society and so. Also they have stated that they will be going for a review petition. As you know, a large number of devotees protested against the judgment. They were mobilized. We have already seen different protests from their side. So in this context, we will see some arguments that is for and against the verdict. Those who are in favor of the verdict says, the patriarchy in religion cannot be allowed to curtail the right to pray and practice a religion and gender cannot be a determining factor, and the patriarchal rules have to be changed. They argued that the exclusion of women from temple entry is the denial of dignity to women, and also said like women cannot be treated as a children of lesser god. There was another argument that the judgment established the principle that individual freedom prevails over professed group rights, even in matters of religion. In wider scales, they argued that it opened up the way for Hinduism to become more inclusive rather than being property of a particular caste or sex. The Supreme Court judgment made it clear that no social practice is above the Constitution. So any form of social injustice has to be removed, and this particular verdict is an example for that. And the devotees of Lord Ayyappa do not constitute a separate religious denomination. Thus, the prohibition on women is not an essential part of Hindu religion. And the imposition of the burden of a man's celibacy on a woman, which is then used to deny her access to spaces to which she is equally entitled, is against the constitutional values of the country. So, now we can see a few arguments against the verdict. Many agree that the verdict curtailed Article 25, that is the freedom to profess and practice one's religion. The celibacy form of the deity has to be respected, and they argue that permitting women of all ages to visit temples where he has not manifested himself in the form of Naishtik Brahmachari makes the idea of gender inequality invalid. And in a pluralistic society, the faith, beliefs and traditions of people cannot be challenged to entertain the public interest litigations that cause serious damage to the secular fabric of the country. It's also argued that notions of rationality cannot be brought into matter of religion. Another point is that Lord Ayyappa is a legal person and he has the right to maintain the perpetual celibate status under the right to privacy provided by Article 21. There are several arguments like the court has embarked on a highly unpredictable path of hyperactivism and essential beliefs or practices of a religious denomination or sect is exclusive to them, so that decision-making power is purely theirs. And finally, the limited restriction on entry of women doesn't fall within the purview of Article 70. So these were some arguments against. So as a way forward, there is nothing above the Constitution. Hence, even if any customs or traditions exist, though if it has a legacy of centuries, it has to be struck down if it violates the spirit of Constitution and rights of individual. So even in this case, the affected people should be taken into consideration and implementation should not be done hastily. So for that purpose, the government can seek a preparatory time period for at least a year or something, and then the judgment has to be seen as an opportunity to change the archaic practices and to bring in new management culture. And in government's perspective, a large-scale modification will have to be done. Maybe some additional constructions, changes in housekeeping to office management and so on. Now as it is a legal right, its implementation has to be elegant and foolproof. Now as a concluding note, constitutional morality is an important check on religious obscurantism, but when carried to an extreme, it can also be destructive of harmless variety and difference. There is a danger of reducing the Constitution itself to another unquestionable holy book, killing diversity in the name of countering discrimination. This is a popular sentiment among the devotees. The government should take steps to eradicate these doubts before implementing the Supreme Court verdict. Otherwise, a confrontation between the state and the people may not go well for the democratic values of the country. So that's all about Sabarimala verdict. So wish you all good luck. Thank you.